Give a man a fish and you'll feed him for a day. Teach a man how to fish and he'll fish the oceans out of fish. Overfishing is becoming one of the 21st century's biggest concern. A study done by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, otherwise known as the FAO, has found that each year an estimated 0.97 to 2.7 trillion fish is caught. Overfishing occurs when more fish is caught than the population can replace through natural reproduction. The oceans, which we rely severely on for food, oxygen, and recreation, are being treated as an inexhaustible source of food and a convenient landfill. Today, I will convince you why overfishing is harming the environment and what me and you can do to limit our impacts. There are numerous causes for excessive fishing, but it ultimately narrows down to four things. The first reason for this exploitation is a lack of rules and regulation in international waters. This allows any company or individual with the right equipment to deplete the area of its natural inhabitants, with it being completely legal. University of British Columbia professor Daniel Pauly, who has studied international fisheries for years, believes banning international fishing would produce a variety of economic and ecological benefits. Another cause of overfishing comes as difficulties in regulating fishing areas due to lack of resources and tracking activities. With too few personnel actively patrolling, huge portions of the ocean is unmonitored and vulnerable to exploitations. Another pressure that places a restraint on the ocean are the international fishing fleets, which are 5 times as large as what is actually necessary to catch fish that our oceans can realistically support. Globally, our active fishing fleets have the capacity to cover at least 4 planets the size of the Earth. Ocean pollution, especially plastic waste that cannot be broken down, is another serious hazard for all marine wildlife. Overfishing has a huge impact on the environment, but the greatest burden is felt by the fish. FAO reports world's consumption of fish per capita is at an all-time high, with the average person consuming 44 pounds of fish per year compared to only 22 pounds of fish per year in the 1960s. Another study done by the FAO has shown over 50% of the fish stocks are totally exploited, 20% of the fish stocks are exploited moderately, 17% of the fish stocks are overexploited, 7% of the fish stocks are completely depleted, and only 1% of the fish stocks are actually recovering from depletion. This is a huge threat to our population because once the fish supplies are gone, millions lose their jobs and billions lose their dietary sustenance. The growth of algae is also becoming a growing concern. At the right balance, algae maintains the food cycle, but in excessive amounts, it can also be harmful for the environment and the fish. Too much algae can cause anoxic conditions where the oxygen is depleted from the water and fish start to suffocate. It is evident that we cannot continue this path or the Earth's ocean will be left with nothing but garbage, algae, and pollutants. Some sustainable practices that can be implanted to balance out the devastations we have caused is to appeal to government and businesses to set aside their profit and adopt more viable alternatives to fishing. We can educate retailers and consumers like you and I to purchase from more sustainable fisheries. This will place pressure on unchecked fisheries to comply with regulations. The next time you're at the store trying to buy fish, check whether the fish you're trying to buy is wild caught or farmed. Although there are certain issues with farming fish, otherwise known as aquaculture is our most and best suitable solution to our overfishing problem. Aquaculture reserves our food source while also preserving the ocean and its inhabitants. Despite the fact that fishing is destroying our vivacious oceans, it is also feeding about 3 billion people per year, which rely on wild-caught and farmed seafood as their primary source of protein. Fishing does not need to be a double-edged sword. It can be done right or it can be done badly. But just like any other problem human race has ever encountered, we can solve it and make overfishing a thing of the past. Thank you.